The sports world has been shaken once again in the wake of the shooting of Jacob Blake. NBA deciding to boycott their playoff games, MLB teams doing the same, but the NHL decided to play on. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Marinofski ahead of the Bruins and Lightning's Game 3. They had a moment of silence where they acknowledged Jacob Blake and the ongoing systemic racism in this country. But it seemed a little bit rushed. It seemed a little bit insufficient. Would you agree that what they did tonight was necessary, but maybe they didn't take it all the way?
Well, Sierra, it wasn't a moment of silence. It was a moment of reflection. But you're right. Here's the thing: when players start boycotting games, selfishly, we all sit here and say we want the games to happen because we want to watch sports, and we use sports as sort of an outlet to get away from the hell that can be society sometimes. But in situations like this, you sort of realize that maybe we shouldn't be distracted from this stuff. Maybe we should really take a good look at these things. And we've known this. And this is something that I think this summer in general has sort of brought upon us, that we do need to really look at these things and not be distracted from these injustices in society. And I think, it's funny, after the game, Chara said that the Bruins were, they didn't hear about the NBA thing until right when they get to the rink, they were getting ready for the game. It just kind of came in too late. They were following the schedule and all that stuff. And I mean, it is up to the players if they want to play or not. And it's also up to the league. I mean, the league, I'm not going to sit here and bash the Bruins for saying, hey, we don't want to play tonight. Now, after the result they had, maybe they would have wished that would have happened. But that's up to the league. And truthfully, you're right. The league really didn't do enough. I know it's rushed. I know the NBA did all these things around 4 p.m. Eastern. I know it all happened kind of shortly. But you have to think that there's got to be some plan in place. Like, hey, maybe let's do a little more than a moment of reflection or something like that. I mean, they really just changed the wording from silence to reflection to kind of justify what they did. I didn't see the game after the Bruins and Tampa, but they're saying on Twitter that nothing happened in that game either. So to me, they have to do something, and you're right. What they didn't feel sufficient enough. When it comes to whether or not the league shouldn't have played, I thought it was an easy call for the league to say, you know what, let's just call the games off for tonight. Let's show our support for the NBA. Let's join the fight. Let's announce that we're totally with them. And maybe you can continue tomorrow or Friday or whatever it is. It just felt kind of weird. Yeah. They were playing. It just kind of felt odd. It kind of gave that same feeling like when COVID first hit and there were basketball games on and you were like, wait a second, we're in the midst of a pandemic here. Like, what are we doing right now? And that's kind of how the game felt at first. And I think you'd agree with this. I think the NHL is going to catch a lot of heat for how they handled this situation.
Yeah, I slightly disagree that it's on the league because when you look at the NBA, I mean, they're a super progressive league, and Adam Silver's done a great job at being on the forefront of these issues. But tonight, the Milwaukee Bucks took it in their own hands and started this movement on their own. I mean, the Toronto Raptors really started the conversation a couple days ago, but the Milwaukee Bucks completely shocked everyone, including their opponent and their own coaches. By just minutes before the game, George Hill spoke up and said, hey, let's make a stand tonight. And the Bucks, the players, took it on themselves, and then the league followed suit. And the fact is, the NBA is a predominantly black league. The NHL is a predominantly white league. I think the message would have even been that much more powerful if the NHL if the players decided to take a stand like the Bucks did and, show some unity, show that you don't have to be in this marginalized group of people to support this movement and to support equality. So a little disappointing that there seemed to be no buy-in from NHL players across the league, except for the very few black NHL players who have actually spoken out about this. We know where the Bruins stand. I do think they were really on the forefront of the issue back during the George Floyd social unrest. I was impressed with the players and their statements then. I was disappointed tonight. I know it was right before game time, but the Bucks made this decision literally moments before they went out for warm-ups. So I think that if the MLB was able to make last-minute adjustments and decide to boycott some games tonight, it would have been nice to just see from a predominantly white league some players to follow suit.
You're absolutely right. You are 100% right. I will give you the perspective of what I think the players in of kind of what the NHL players might have been thinking in this. And this is just my own opinion of what I think they were thinking. I think in the sense of the NBA, now I don't know the ins and outs of what happened with the NBA stuff. I was also too kind of following what was going on with the Bruins Lightning series today, whatever. I think part of it with the Milwaukee Bucks was the shooting happened in their state. And I think that
the Raptors started it days ago.
Oh, I know, but to truly boycott the game, that happened in their state.
Yep.
I think it surprised everyone. And with the NBA, everyone followed suit because, as they rightly should have, and they were right to do it. I think the NHL in some ways and the players sort of didn't know what to do. Now that you're right, you're 100% right. It would have been amazing if they said, you know what, we aren't playing tonight. We are going to stand with them. But I think they were very surprised by it. I would not be shocked if something happens tomorrow, Thursday, because I think the league and the players themselves were stunned by how it all went down so quickly. You're right, though. It would have been great if they. Yeah, exactly. Like, it would have been great if they decided, hey, you know what? We are not going to play tonight. And as I said earlier, the Bruins wouldn't have hurt the Bruins. But you're right. And I think that in a situation like this, it's so tough because we've never seen this before. Like, if with games going on, we've never seen players, even during the Donald Sterling stuff with the NBA. I mean, I think the players just turned their jerseys inside out. I believe they still played the games. Yeah. Whereas this, they just decided, no, we're not playing. And the rest of the league said, you know what? Neither are we. So I think in the same with the MLB, they also did the same thing. So I think with the NHL, they just weren't ready for this. And I think you're going to see some stuff come up in the coming days. But again, I don't know if anything is going to replace or kind of fix what happened tonight, because I think this is going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Definitely. It does feel like we're back in March where the future of sports is in limbo, but we'll continue to keep you updated on all of this developing news on our website at clnsmedia.com and on our YouTube channel at CLNS Media.
Get 20% off and free shipping using the code MAX20 at manscaped.com. Take your grooming game to the next level.